Hello everyone, I'm recording this and streaming it because people have been kind of discussing in Cloud's new USB, his EX Soldier mode in Japan, and talking about how overpowered it is and how it might become necessary for fights, and I've seen some people discuss that this fight that I'm going to be doing right here and now is very difficult to impossible without Cloud USB, and that's just not true. Cloud USB is very good, don't get me wrong. I'm still on the fence about how broken it is. I haven't been convinced one way or the other yet, but it is entirely possible to do this with no physical damage on the team whatsoever. This fight is the brand new Full Throttle Bahamut, Final Fantasy III Bahamut fight, which has some interesting mechanics that makes it troublesome to defeat for some teams and with some strategies. For those who don't know, Full Throttle is a new type of fight in Japan where you start with 3 full soul break gauges. That's what this symbol here is indicating. Oh, I have my cursor turned off. One moment. No, it's supposed to be turned on. Well, the 3-bar symbol here on the green stage is indicating it's a full throttle battle, which means you start off with 3 full soul break gauges on every character, and every character starts with the exact same ATB. There's no randomization to the ATB. However, you're not allowed to gain or transfer soul break gauge. So every character gets 3, and that is all anyone ever gets in the fight. So it's kind of a different way to go about it, and you can go full throttle from the start. That's the name. Full Throttle Bahamut in particular. The metal conditions for him are Magic Break, Attack Break, and exploit his weakness to wind when he's weak to it. He only becomes weak to wind under 40% HP. But he has a mechanic. Once he becomes weak to wind, he also gains a 100% counterattack, which is a Kuraga heal for 9,300 HP. So it's very difficult to make headway on his HP once he hits 40%. Cloud USB makes it a lot easier because you can hit him for a lot of damage really quickly. Once you turn that on, it lets you break the damage limit on all of your attacks, so you can do more than 10,000 damage in a single attack. I am not going to be doing that. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to be using a physical team. I will be mastering this fight with a mage team without using Cloud USB whatsoever. I have to bring this for metal conditions. I'm only going to use it once because it's not necessary. This is a very, very, very good team. I'm not trying to say that anyone can do this. Obviously, I have very good relics for this particular fight. All 5 of these characters have BSBs of their own. Yuna's is her BSB 2, which is coming in global tonight as I record this, which is a party magic and mind buff and a AoE heal, and she can do uncounterable damage in addition to her AoE heal command, which I will make use of. It's not a huge source of damage in the fight for me, but it's uncounterable damage, which is always nice. Fujin's BSB is a magic and resistance break. I'll be making use of both, although note that this is the only magic breaking I'll be doing, and it's actually worse than magic breakdown. You do not need to stack resistance or to stack debuffs for this fight. He does not do that much damage. The difficulty in this fight is not letting the fight drag out because of his counter. Strago will be using his new BSB, the command 2 of which is basically uncapped ninja magic. It ignores resistance and it has effectively no cap on its magic, so he will be doing 20,000 damage the entire fight, which means he can easily outpace the heal. Alphanod's BSB, everyone in Global knows by this point. The important point for this is A, that it's wind weak, or it's wind damage, so it hits its weakness, and B, that it is not counterable because it is a summon. This is something that I don't know that a lot of people realize or realize the implications of. summon commands from BSBs cannot be countered. So he'll be doing 24,000 damage without that 9,000 heal. And then Onion is here for his BSB and to toss in some meltdowns at the end of the fight for roughly 15,000 damage after the heal. He's mostly here to help me power through the initial 60% HP where he doesn't have any elemental weaknesses. Matter of fact, he's resistant to everything except for wind. As far as RMs, you'll notice I'm not bringing any Mako Might Dr. Mog because they're useless. You start full and you can't get any more, so there's no point in starting with a Soul Break gauge. Same thing with Ace Striker. You can't generate any Soul Break gauge, so there's no point in bringing those. Yuna has my best heal plus, which is not very good. It's not the best one. But again, his damage output isn't really the struggle with this fight. Fujin has Wind Up. Strago has Devotion. Alphanod has Summon Up. And Onion just has some Magic Up. Skills-wise, I'm actually not using most of these. Shogun Protect I'll use. Meltdown I'll use. The heal I may or may not use. It depends on whether Bahamut flares someone really badly. The Ninja Spell I won't use. Orthros I won't use. The Summons I won't use unless I'm really desperate. Faith I will use in the beginning. I'll use it on Alphanod, Onion, and Fujin because they can use the boost. Strago himself doesn't really care about it because he will be hitting for 20,000 regardless. For my Roaming Warrior, you are allowed to use Roaming Warriors. I will be bringing Wall. Hey, Crude! Long time no see. I will be bringing Wall, as I don't leave home without it. I'm not Skyfire. I prefer to bring Wall when I can, and this party can definitely afford it. Unlike other Nightmare or Torment for global players battles, the Full Throttle battles have no trash. You just get thrown in against the boss right away. The Full Throttle versions of the Torment bosses have different AI, including different attacks than the normal ones, so read your friendly local AI thread. In this case, he starts off with 2 really weak attacks and then goes into a Mega Flare, so I need to have mitigation up before Mega Flare. This is Fujin's BSB, not out in global yet, but it's extremely good. It's basically a mage version of Van's BSB. Except she does not have a magic break command. She has a resistance break command. Let's get that. The other nice thing about Fujin's BSB is her commands are ninja cast speed. They're very fast. Using Power Breakdown here just for the metal, I'm not actually concerned about his physical attacks since everybody's in the back row. He actually did not Mega Flare on his 3rd turn. He usually does. It's not that big of a deal. His Mega Flare I'll hit for maybe 16k. Or not 16k, up. 16k would be a problem. 1.6k. Yuna will be able to heal it up. Oh, I forgot to buff Fujin. It's not that big of a deal. Faith doesn't help that much. Anyway, this first part of the fight is basically just wearing down his HP. There's no real catches to worry about. He's not gonna... I think he does do a double Mega Flare at one point, but as you'll see, it's just not that much to worry about. This is Strago's new BSB, for those who haven't seen him. Despite what it looks like, that's not fire damage, by the way. His BSB is Water, Earth, Wind. He has N water. His first command, which I will not be using in this fight, is 4 hits, Water and Earth, with a Magic Blink on one party member. And his second hit is Water and Wind, 2 hits, which ignores resistance. And as you will see here in a second, will pretty much always hit for 20k. Still not as good as Alpha Nod, obviously, but very, very useful for this fight. Fujin's BSB wore off earlier than the others here because I remember I used her right from the start. The others waited a turn or two. Even when he spams Mega Flare back-to-back like this, if you're bringing a wall like I am, it's really not a problem. I'm actually going to go ahead and recast Yuna's BSB here just so that she keeps Summon Mode on. If you let BSB mode drop, she will lose Summon Mode and you have to resummon Balfour, and it's just kind of annoying. As long as you recast the BSB before it wears off, you'll keep your Summon Mode, and you basically save yourself a turn. The one tricky part with the strategy is when to renew Wall. Because you'd think the fight would go a lot faster, past 40%, when he gains a weakness to wind, with all the wind I have in this party. But his self-heal really slows things down, so I'm trying to keep it as close to 50% HP here before I renew Wall as I can. I will probably have Alpha Nod cast Wall with his quick cast once his BSB wears off. Wall's still there because that flare would have hurt a lot more. Okay, yeah, so he's about 50% HP. Alpha Nod's BSB is more off. I'm just going to go ahead and have him power chain it out. Bahamut's pretty close to his 40%, so it's not that big of a deal. And if I can, I would like to get the that damage on the summon. On the entry of his BSB. This strategy does use all 4 or all 3 BSBs or soul break gauges, which a cloud USB strategy wouldn't, to be frank. But you're given 3, so why not make use of them, is what I say. He's just about at 40% now. He's going to start countering with... Kuraga. Yep. His first turn in Very Weak is always Kuraga, and then he reuses it, I would say at most every other turn, but his AI is a little hard to quantify that easily. And then, as you can see, he countered that attack with his Kuraga, and he will continue to do that for everyone's attacks except for Alpha Nod's. He cannot counter soul breaks, he cannot counter summons. And as you'll see, like, Fujin there barely made any headway with her attack. Was still positive, but not a big deal. And Yuna's is not countable because that is a summon, technically a summon attack. So it did a little bit of damage, and it didn't actually end up healing it, which would be unfortunate. My real damage dealer here is Alphanod, who can't be countered, because he's a god. I do have Fujin's in Wind, but it's just not worth the Soul Break gauge. If I had infinite gauge, I would absolutely use in Wind, but it's you can't really afford to use up that and lose the magic break here. And as you can see, he's really not doing that much damage to me. I'm healing up easily in between his Mega Flare casts. He will never cast Mega Flare back-to-back in this phase. It is not possible for him to do so. Matter of fact, I don't think it's possible for him to cast it any more frequently than once every 4 turns. Or every 3 turns. So you should basically always get a chance to heal up. Here, you can see that I let Yuna's summon mode wear off because her BSB wore off. Not that big of a deal. I probably won't even recast summon mode. And as you can see, we're wearing down his hit points, but it's not exactly the quickest thing. It'd actually probably be better for me to use... Well, no, I don't think her Ninja Magic will hit 10,000 per hit against him, so I might as well just use Command 1. Getting close now. Like I said, this last 40% is really deceptive if you just try to bowl through it like this. He just has... That counter just really prolongs his life. He has 825,000 or so hit points base, maximum HP, but his continued casting of 9,000 hit point heals really extends the fight. And if you're not careful, you can run out of wall here, and then his Mega Flareus will really do a number on you. This, however, should finish him off. And there you go. Full Throttle Bahamut down with a Mage team, no Cloud USB in sight. Again, I'm not trying to say that anybody can do this. I do have very good relics for the attempt. The heals are not reflectable, that is correct. In the earlier versions, in the D200 and D250 versions of this fight, you can reflect him. He is immune in this version, or I would have just done that and made it, made it much easier. So yeah, that's, I mean, don't get me wrong, Cloud USB is very good. If I had it, if I had a good physical wind Soul Break, I would probably use that instead just to trivialize this fight, but it's not required. Like I've seen some people speculate. It's helpful, don't get me wrong, it's very strong, but it's definitely not required.